What have you learned from your audience feedback? Audience feedback is important to the process of creating media text because it gives you an idea of what people actually want to see. After all, if the media text aren't what people want, then your product isn't going to do well in the industry. Audience feedback allows you to get responses to what you have already produced, allowing you to further develop it based on the results you get. Throughout this year, I have conducted 3 types of primary research, including online surveys, face-to-face focus groups, and peer/teacher feedback on my products. I use online surveys as a way of researching who my magazines would be aimed at, what kinds of content they would like to see inside it, and all other useful information I needed, such as the price and frequency. Now, doing online surveys does have its uses, but also has its downfalls, making it often problematic. Pros include easy way of asking a wide variety of people. Results are automatically set into graphs and tables. Cons include limited questions, website maintenance, people ignoring your survey, and inaccurate results. Throughout the year, I have been getting feedback from my teacher and a friend sat beside me. Now, although this did help me develop my product, it didn't actually prove that effective. This is because as a teacher you have to be critical, but not to the point where a student is demotivated and upset. And the problem with friends is that they don't want to damage the relationship between you and them, so they just point out the little things and tend to ignore the main flaws. Pros include helpful in small amounts, always there for a quick question, and comparing products with each other. Cons include a lack of honest feedback. Because of the amount of cons outweighing the pros, I decided that for my feedback after I'd created my products I would go for a more upfront and valued method, and decided to hold a focus group. I did the focus group with people I didn't know in the hope that they wouldn't care how their responses affected me. Random people tend to give the best advice when it comes to results from feedback because they can be as criticising as they like. They don't have any attachments to you, so they're more likely to be honest and opinionated, which is excellent when it comes to media texts. They will happily point out any flaws, allowing you to improve them. Pros include honest feedback, verbal and written feedback. You get to see their initial reactions, and you can't be ignored. Cons, however, finding people to do it may be difficult, and it's very time consuming. From the feedback I received, I learnt that once you've worked out who your audience is, everything gets easier. You know what kind of content and design they like, and it just speeds up the whole process. The great thing about that is when it comes down to getting feedback from them, they all point out the same things. There will be something that your product lacks, and 9 times out of 10, everyone will point it out, and the same thing goes for things people don't like about it. This helped me construct and further develop my magazine because people thought the gutter was ugly and seemed irrelevant, and then suggested something I could do to improve it, which I took on board and went ahead and did for them. Everyone I asked also pointed out that on one of my advert pages, the model blended in with the background because the colour of the clothing and background was similar, so they suggested I did something about it. I couldn't quite get the idea I wanted to work because I lacked the materials I needed, so I made do with a simple outer glow effect separating her from the background as they asked. This year I've learnt that unless you put actual time into getting research, you aren't going to get anything that's really useful. You're just going to get the same old minor adjustments and ignorance. In future, I now know that I should hold focus groups for my feedback based on my draft products, but in order to get the information I need to go forth and create it, I will send out online surveys to social media sites and hit the local area with quick-fire style of research from people walking about to ensure that I have plenty of results to compare and analyse.